up? I got Emily Lyons. Okay, so we're talking about brands and influencers and culpability, right? Like how liable should celebrities and influencers be, especially post FTX? Let's start talking a little bit about brands first, right? So we were defining influencers, analyzing influencers. How important is it for the influencers and brands to align?
It's incredibly important. I think if you work as an influencer with brands and companies that you don't align with, that you don't truly believe in, you'll lose trust in your audience, and then you lose everything.
Yeah, because you're starting to see backlash, right? And it seems like it's like when there's this bifurcation, there's an incongruity. So I guess that's my question. Like, what happens if the influencer brand and the product brand clash?
If the influencer brand and the product brand clash, at best, it'll just be an unsuccessful campaign and maybe you'll lose money. But at worst, people will be upset and they'll call you out on it. You know, they'll call you out on just taking money and not truly believing in the product. And being a good influencer is all about having that trust with your community, being honest and transparent with them. So if you lose that, you're not going to be able to continue being an influencer for very long.
It's interesting that you're talking about that interaction, right? Because that's actually what's new, right? If you think about social media, let's call them celebrities versus I don't know, Web2 celebrities, right? Traditional media celebrities. You know, if you didn't like what Tom Cruise had to say on Oprah, you could go to the internet, but you couldn't talk to Tom Cruise. Whereas a social media celebrity, you could like slide into their DMs, right? You can like attack them on Twitter. Like there's really an interaction that's different.
They're much more available, and it makes it that much harder because, like you said, you can slide into their messages. So if they do something that isn't liked, that is offensive, or the brand that they're collaborating with is, they get millions of hate messages every single day. It's hard. And you don't have that level of protection like we used to see with celebrities.
Right. And with the stakes increasing, do you think that a spokesperson becomes an extension of the brand that they represent?
100%. They are the human extension of the brand. They become the face of the brand. And that's why it's so important that they are very selective with who they become a spokesperson for. You know, doing that due diligence to make sure that they are completely aligned with them and where they're going also in the future.
And we are going to get into FTX in the next segment, but it's interesting, the due diligence that you brought up, right? So, like, how much due diligence do you think people should be doing?
I mean, there's only so much really that an influencer can do that's available to them. But I think going as far as possible, asking the hard questions and just being really selective again with who they're actually going to partner with. Because when you are going to partner with, if you're going to partner with a fashion brand and you're going to promote some great clothing, that's a lot less risky than telling your audience to invest in something where they could potentially lose all their life savings. So being selective with the brands that you partner with overall.
It's interesting you say that though, right? So does that mean, because there's obviously a difference between being a financial advisor or being a celebrity who's in a commercial for a hedge fund or something like that, right? So how do you differentiate between those two ideas?
I mean, are you an expert in that area? Should you really be giving advice on what people should invest in? What is your knowledge in that? What is your background in that? How can you do proper due diligence if you don't have a background in that? So, I mean, I have turned down so many different partnerships that would have been incredible money because it didn't align with me and because I couldn't do proper due diligence on them. I didn't know how to understand those things properly. Would I partner with, a crypto company? No, probably not. Because I don't know how to properly research it and make sure that what I'm telling people is genuine and to understand the risks and the risks that I'm putting my community in.
So do you think it's valid then that some of these celebrities are getting this backlash?
I think now it is, but I mean, I can see it from both angles. They have to make a living, but also I think it's flown under the radar for far too long. And there hasn't been enough rules and regulations around celebrities and influencers and what they can and can't promote. And have some sort of accountability as well behind them, because right now they kind of just can walk away scot-free with the paycheck, and their community is the ones now that have lost so much.
Well, look, speaking of community, the FTX community is sort of in tatters right now, but we've got more Emily Lyons here on the Daily Drop.